Alright, let's see. Ooh. What's up, Sonar? Back already. I am just going to continue on with what I was doing. Blah. We shall see. There are, let's see, base mods. Alright. Yeah, I'm basically just going to continue on with pretty much everything. I have to figure out how I'm going to do the uncapper and everything as well, because I am not going to be running Ordinator, so I'll have to figure it out. Stuff like this. These are core things that I always that I always put in. More informative console. I will put the uncapper in. I just have to figure out how I'm going to go about it. Better jumping, obviously. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff. Stay at the system page. Yeah, more informative console. This is like like a must-have for me. And the uncapper any. Like I said, I'll have to figure out a. I'll have to either figure out or because there's not one for the one that I want to run. But we'll get it. We'll get it. So more informative console looks good. The uncapper needs to be set. Better jumping also needs to be set. And I bring them up in batches for the most part. See if I can put the microphone down a little bit more. All right. It's at this point where if you're going to run something like an uncapper, most people, if you're on console, you're not going to, well, you don't have one, first of all. But I'm going to have to run the game because there's no uncapper any. You have to create one. So we're going to just quickly run it. It's actually quicker for me to leave my folder open and leave up, there we go. Let's quit out. Already ran the game. Game already ran. And that should generate open and explorer. Ah, that's right. No, I have to. Open that back up. Whew. Just do some more Skyrim stuff. That's it. I guess Mel's doing hers, and Loki's also doing it. So that's okay. If they jump in later, that's fine. I'll have to figure out. There's one for Ordinator. I wonder if they give you a hardcore preset. Mr. B's. I may run this one. This is the one that I was running, the uncapper any for Ordinator, but I'm not running. I may run the ones for Skyrim Redone. I don't think there's one for perma. We'll have to check this out to see if there is. This may be no, there's a separate mod. Okay. You need the reprocker, that's why. Let's take a look at Mr. B's. What's up, Tim? I think I'm getting sick. Think I am getting sick. Mr. B's skill and capper for role players. Something I've been wanting to do. Skill caps are set to 255. Formula caps are set at 155. And then the level mults, which these can always be adjusted. Leveling up shouldn't be too slow. Those using experience, alternate start or unbound could have characters. That's normal too. Ah, that's right, Grace. I'm curious about this one. This is another one that I've been wanting to see. Requires UI extensions. That won't be one that I'm running. I'll be running off of perma, so curious to see. Adaptive leveling. There used to be a community one, but I think that's null and void for special edition. It's definitely available for uh, legendary edition. Capper presets. Additional fix for the Apocalypse mod, yep. This bug seems to be fixed, but I still recommend checking. And these can all be adjusted. Maybe I'll go back in and I'll fix them myself, I don't know. Because I don't use the DLL loader, I just use it off of SKSE. I'm curious as to the presets though. Let's see what the files have. 8 different presets with 3 possible DLL loader methods. Interesting. So you get to basically pick which one. Hmm. Mr. Flames, I don't know who that is. Hmm. I could use the Ash one, but I'm not really sure I want to. Capper any. It should have populated to my overwrite when I ran the game. Or So that's there. Um, let's try running it one more time just to see. This base skill and capper needs to be run, so I might do that. Give me 1 second here. Just gonna run the game. It's gonna go dark there for you for a second. Okay. Quit out of there now. Yeah, no, didn't. I might not even use it. I'll have to read up on it. Well, in the meantime, we'll get some more. On capper, I'm just gonna make myself a little notation about this. Okay. So I know that it hasn't been done yet. That's all I do. So it looks like they've been taking mods off of Scaleform. I think Scaleform just updated the other day. Yeah, 21st of December. For quick loot. Sky UI. I don't really use Scaleform. Well, I may as well load it, why not? I say that, but you never know. Quick loot I don't use. Floating damage I definitely do. Whose quest is it anyway? That one I use. I think whose quest. Oh, this one might not. No, this one hasn't updated either. This is why I haven't been using this. Yeah, because this is still for the old version of the game. This one hasn't updated yet. So, yeah, floating damage. Because this is for the new version of SKSE in the game. That's why you always check. Looks good. This one won't. Yeah, my throat's just been completely scratchy the last 2 days. And then, let's just say... I'm gonna grab both of these at the same time. Piracy Toe. Yep, new version. And then Power 3s. For 1.5.97. Yeah, it happens to you too. That's the first time it happened to me. And I'm curious. Let's reinstall. Data. Yep. Set. Place. Yeah, let's try running it again. Should. I'm not even gonna mess with OBS because by the time I switch screens over for OBS and you guys see it, I'm already done with loading the game. The game's already loaded. I'm already quitting out. That's how fast it loads up. Yeah. Yep, there it is. That's the darndest thing. There's the innie. So we need to put this. Why do I have this open? Let's close that. Overwrite mod. This needs to go up to Skyrim skill and capper. Bam. So it's out of there. And just double check here. Open and Explorer. Bingo. Beautiful. I'll have to find one for perma, because that's what I intend on running. So I could probably just, modify these all myself. Um, I would probably set the skill level cap to something like normally they're set to 255. The skill formula caps I think are 155, and then the molts are adjusted. They're usually less than one. One is base game. That's how quickly you level. Um, I Perm is a little different. That's what I intend on using. I just wanted to make sure that that was there. Let me go back in here. Let me just. I'm gonna open a dummy window because Percus is its own beast. And like I said, this is my favorite overhaul uh, for everything. I'm gonna install this now, and then I'm going to remove it, but I'm gonna do it for one reason only. Excuse me, I'm still coughing. Let me try and find a cough drop, guys, because this is killing me for some reason. Give me 1 second here. It just started like yesterday, and I was fine with my stream with the character, but I should have some on my lunch bag here. And I got a couple of them. Yeah, it just like when you start to get sick, and it's that beginning. Oh, these are something different. What are these? If I don't have any, I'd be pissed off. I got three. Three should last me. Hopefully. I probably have some in my bathroom. Alright. Sorry about that. If you hear me coughing again, it's just me like that. So, yeah, this is the overhaul that I like to use. But I need to install and grab the patcher from this. As you can see, 355 megabytes. I just want to add it as executable, just to kind of get it out of the way. And then what I do is I uninstall it. It'll populate down here at the bottom. But I do have to install it again. You can see everything that it does. You get the Mage, Master, Thief, and Warrior. This is the directory right here. It's quite large. it's still going. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to leave it at the bottom. Plugins. So it always defaults to this. Not that it's going to matter, but if you run this, just make sure that the master is above the mage. I'm assuming it's alphabetical order. MAG comes before MAS. Data. Skyproc patchers, Tendo's patches Maximus. And we want the patches Maximus jar. Add that. Okay. I grabbed the debug more heap space, the 32-bit, the .bat file, and add as executable there. Okay. Just so you see. So when you run the patcher, it's going to be here, and then if you look at your where it's coming from, but I want to see if this has been fixed. It has not. Okay. Alright. Let me see if, where is it? Might be on the main page. It might be. There is one line I have to add to this. Hey, Mr. B. Mr. B, I have a question for you, sir. Is your uncapper compatible with perma? And if so, I may be attempting to use it. I am not going to be running Ordinator for this play. I'm going to be running perma. I'm just trying to find the line of code that I need for the patcher itself. And I know it was on the main page here. I just can't find what it is. I think it's like 1024. I don't see why I wouldn't be either. And I would just overwrite the SKSE any from the uncapper itself. I know it says to use Shadowman's DLL loader. I don't usually. Let me cancel this real quick. So you can see I've got perma, but and I just installed the patcher and the debug. But I'll wind up running the patcher itself. Not yet, obviously. I'm literally just started this. Hold on one second. Cell phones are ringing all over the place. Okay, back. I'm trying to find that line of code. That's what I was trying to do. There's a whole lot of everything going on tonight here. Okay. I may have to check a YouTube video for it, sadly. I used to remember it. And I believe it was in the stickies up top. Last I remembered. I guess not. Hmm. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna have to check the. Hey, Gina. So you're still experiencing crashes, huh? Frost, like I said, I haven't used Frostfall since console. I haven't used it once on PC yet. Um, it for me, I find that just running I need and maybe campfire is more than enough. Even I need itself forces you to sleep, so um, you still have to stop at an inn or find shelter in a cave. There's usually bedrolls in almost every dungeon or cave. And not every character is going to, like, the second they start to get tired, a lot of people wind up getting in the habit of trying to find somewhere to sleep. Um, and I just, for the most part, find it really, really tedious, especially with Frostfall itself in general. Like, I love the idea, I love the concept of it, I love the fact that you can adjust it, right? But um, I think even with it lowered, it's just still really, really tedious. Because I mean, if I were in a place like that, and let's just say the NPCs themselves are out going about their daily work, you see a farmer in a field, he's not going to stay out all day. If it was really that cold, even with a cloak or something like that, I mean, that's why I don't know. It's just, maybe it's just me. It's probably just me. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to play that video and watch it because I can't remember the line of code to add to the patcher. So I'm not sure which one did it. I think it was Cal's. I'm gonna try and skip to right where I need to be.
Hi guys, it's Cal from Nerdy Weasel, and we're back for another mod installation tutorial. And I wanted to start off by saying happy 3-year anniversary to Skyrim. It was released on November 11th, 2011, and here we are 3 years later.
Let's see if I could.
Still with more new mods for it, and it's still running strong. With that auspicious date,
I'm going to try and see if I could just, because the line of code should be the same.
Popular game overhaul mod on the
For
Nexus,
whatever reason,
Skyrim, with over 2 million downloads, has released his new overhaul called Percus Maximus. This is another complete overhaul that completely redoes the skill trees.
No, it's not in the comments. It must be in the video itself. Monthly report. Awesome.
And this video is going to show you how to install it, how to go into the troubleshooting, and explain Skyrim redone patchers. And they will help you out with that by showing you, as you go down your... It's got to go.
I'm going to be skipping through this just so I can see if I can find it. I don't want to bore you guys with the stuff here.
We will go back up to the top here. Load order. We're talking no more stuff. So what we're doing is Percus Max, and it says done. We're going to double click to install that. It's going to extract the files. And okay, Percus Maximus,
It's a little bit different on SC than it is for here.
A combination thereof.
It automatically gives you
them all. And not have all of them. You can see there's a lot of new weapons in there. A lot of new textures. So it's custom-made stuff. Pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. Alright, there we go. So we'll go over to our plugins, but we'll come to load order for right now. Maximus around a bit, this portion of the program, and it is a little... That's what it is. So Windows x86 offline. This is the 28.35 MB download, and you are looking for J. And I want you to look in your program files. I want you to look for Java, and if it lists anything other than, blank, I don't want you to have anything in here. There you'll find old Java files. This is the newest one. You can see it was done last night. I want you to program files x86, and you can see that's where I have mine. And there it is right there. All right, so we go back to Mod Organizer,
It might be
and
right
we
at
are
the
going
end
to
of
go
the
to
video.
data.
I already did this part here.
And let's see, have I ever done
If
this?
he's doing what he's doing,
I
he's
have
adding the
not, so we
executable.
just
This might be
leave
what I'm
this.
looking for.
Okay,
And
so
yes,
go
I
over to your
still
data,
use I
and you're
still
going to
use
go all the way
tutorial
down to the
videos
bottom,
myself.
and we are looking for Skyproc patches right there. Nintendo's Patches Maximus, and you're going to see two files. And I want you to do, you have patchesmaximus.jar, okay? We're going to highlight it, right-click it, add as executable. Patches Maximus, yes. Okay. Now, we'll get to this in a second, but the debug, I would go ahead and highlight it, add as executable, debug, more headspace. Okay. Now that that's done, let's go back to our plugins. And we are going to go over to our executables, and we're going to configure it.
This is what I'm looking for
You
here,
can
I
see
think.
now we've got Patches Maximus, and we also have debug, more headspace. Right. So we're going to highlight Patches Maximus, and it's going to tell us quite a bit of information. It's going to tell us the title, which we know. It's going to tell us the binary, so it's already selected for us. Remember, we looked and found it in C program. That's our local drive. Program files x86 Java JRE 1.8.0 underscore 25 bin java.exe. Okay.
I just realized how much of an idiot I am. If you'll notice, executable argument. Be sure to include the space. It's right there. Not the whole line, just what's quoted. Wow.
So,
It goes in
start
the
in this.
arguments.
Okay, that's what we want. Arguments. And this is where those of you who get a message, if the
Yeah, this is
first
where I
time
get
you
the error
run
message. How about
the
that?
Patches
It's right there.
Maximus, you may get a little message, and I'll show this in the video.
Yep, out of
It'll
memory.
pop it up right here. It talks about needs more headspace. You would think that that would be, it needs more power to run, so you would want to increase the gigabytes to run it. But it's actually, it's causing a problem with the 32-bit version of Java that it likes to run. We are now running a 64-bit Java. So we have to actually downgrade the amount of megabytes. And there is a line in the, some characters in the argument section. You can see arguments right here. And I want you to include this exactly how I write it in. And I will highlight this in the video so you can see it exactly. It's hyphen, capital X, under lowercase m, x. So it's hyphen, capital X, mx, 1024 m space. Okay, just
That's it. Hyphen XMX 1024M. Just like that. Apply. Do the same for the debug. Actually, I won't need to for that because I'm not going to run the debug for it. But just okay. Alright. That's that now. Good to know I can always go back and use those tutorials. And they're always there. And then when I decide to run the patcher, that's what I'll do. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove it. It'll populate down here. At the bottom, I'm going to just remember that it's, I mean, I know it's there. So, got a lot of other stuff to do. Yeah, back to the guides. Yeah, so I'm going to be running perma, and let's see, where was it? I already have the uncapper. I already have it. Wrong one. Description. So there's Mr. B's. So, I will ask though, Mr. B, because you have it in here. Do you recommend running the Shadowmans, or is it fine if I just overwrite what I have um, currently for the uncapper any? Because all I did was just run this and generated, or is it generated the any itself? If you can see, it's all at a base level right now. Um, Vanilla game, as if it were. What I normally do is I normally will install like a preset and have it go right to my overwrite, and then just take it right from the overwrite and paste it right on top of the uncapper. Or if it's a separate mod and I need to, um, like if I put it to my desktop and zip it up, um, I'll just when going to install it, I'll just change the name again to Skyrim Skill Uncapper, so it's the same. It's the same way that that Cal did his from his Ordinator one. Let me see here. I could actually do it right from here. I think. I think I could, right? Yeah, I probably could. It should do the same thing. We'll do this as a test to see, since I haven't used another one, and I'm going to be running perma, and since this is modifying um, the skills themselves, which are all technically the same, unless you run, you know, an overhaul of some kind. I'm curious to see. Manual SKSE plugins, yeah. So if I change the name to Skyrim Skill Encapper, let's see if that works. I could always uninstall and then reinstall. Just to see if this does it. We're going to merge that. Okay. Let me refresh it real quick just to see. Put in Explorer, plugins, uncapper any. Yeah, it's changed it. There you go. That's awesome. So you can see everything's changed to 255 as the level cap, which I can modify if I wanted to. I just leave them alone. I don't touch them normally. If I wanted to lower them, I'd probably put them at 200. I mean, because most skills that I've seen, you're only going to have a couple hit 100. And by the time you're having your backup skills hit 100, your character's north of this level 60 mark. Um, Anything after that, I mean, 255 is pretty standard from what I've seen. And then 155 for the formula caps. And then for the gain molds, I could go in and change these myself. Let's see. I think I'm going to actually, I'm going to edit a little bit. We'll go 0.85 for alteration marksman. I'll leave at, I should probably put 0.75. Block we'll leave at 1. Alchemy tends to level fast, so I'll 0.8. Conjuration's definitely going to need to be less than 0.85. Destruction I'll put 0.9. because that will be a main skill. But enchanting, I'm going to leave at 1. There's a reason for that. Heavy armor, I'm not going to be using. But yeah, they're going crazy here today, unfortunately. They have an entire basement to use, but they decide to be right next to me, so you get to hear a little kid screaming. Fortunately, illusion, 0 points. We'll go 0.85. Light armor will be 0.9. Lock picking, I will leave it 1 for now. One-handed, I'll leave it 1. Pickpocket, I'll leave it 1. Restoration, I will lower to. I'm sorry. 1.1. I'll put it to 1.1. Or raise it. Smithing at 1. Sneak at 0.9. Speechcraft at 0.85. Two-handed, I will also leave at 1 because one-handed is also left at 1. So, oh, you can barely hear them. Yeah. I can. They're right in my ear. So you can obviously see this is geared towards a mage, um, which is and as you'll see when I go back into MO2. If you guys have no idea what I just did, all I did was adjust the experience, the game multipliers, um, to level a little bit slower for the skills that my character is going to use, which means I'm actually going to progress further through the physical game itself while not over leveling my character. That's probably the best way I could describe it. Um, if I were, and you notice the only one I raised was restoration because restoration is kind of a hard skill to level on its own. And while it's going to be a focus of this character, it's not going to be. I may not use it every single battle, so I'm going to want it to level alongside um, decently when I do use it. I don't want it to lag behind. If I feel I need to go in and adjust it again, I could do this before I run the game and I can adjust them again. But um, lowering a skill means that it's just that you're gaining. It's going to cost you more time to do it. So like alchemy, I'm gonna have to create more expensive potions more often to have the alchemy skill go from say 30 to 31. If this was 1, it would be what the vanilla game is. If I set it to 1.5, it would be 50% faster going from 30 to 31. So that very well could be 1 or 2 potions depending on, the value. Um, that's all that what that is. What this is here is this 255 for all skills. This is now the new level cap. Normally in the vanilla game you cap out at 100 for your skills before you can quote unquote legendary them and reset them, which is ridiculous. Um, this will allow you to break that 100, so you go from 100 to 101 to 102, etc., etc. So we're gonna save this. I think this is pretty good so far. What I like to concern myself with more so than what the actual level is, the formula caps. I believe for the one that Cal did for Ordinator, his was also 155. I'm gonna leave these alone. I'm not gonna touch them. I'm also not gonna touch the overall level cap. But I do adjust the values for how quickly or how slowly certain things do. Like I probably won't use light armor. I'll probably use robes. So like the light armor and the heavy armor, I think I left at 1. Yeah, enchanting I left at 1. Um, Even though I may not use enchanting much because I am going to use honed metal for a lot of my stuff. Not all of it, but some of it. And then destruction, I'm going to leave it 9, and there's a reason for this. You would think that destruction tends to level slower as well. That's also true. And same with conjuration. I don't want these getting up so quickly that my character's level, uh, like, I don't want to see him 3 hours in at level 15. Basically it. That's just basically how it is. So for right now, I'm going to save these. and that's all it is. So that's really cool that I can just go in and do that, and that's with Mr. B's roleplay uncapper installed right here, and it's just overriding the Skyrim skill uncapper itself. That's all that it's doing. As long as you have SKSE in a version of it, here is the description. I've been wanting to try this, and you can see the uh, second part, which I'm not sure I'm going to use experience either. Uh, I don't believe I'm going to for this character, but we'll have to see. This is going to be very interesting to see how this works in conjunction. So let's see what else I can get. I think I'm all the way. Oh, I have to change floating damage. That's right. I could do that right from here. Oop, wrong one. 80. Yep. Okay. Also doing things that probably seem crazy, but I do them. I do them anyway. Let's check Yashed really quick to see what else is needed. Yes, I'm sure. I have to see if this has updated. I think it did. The 6th of December. Let's check the game version. This may or may not be. I think it is though. Yep, there we go. That's one thing that could break the save is if the game version and the SKSE version do not match. At least for me, what I've noticed is they will just immediately either crash the desktop or you'll have major issues somewhere along the ways there. Experience. I might use it. I'm not sure yet. I'm not using Yashed either, by the way. Um, console util. Yeah, this is the 1st of December, so this is updated as well. So I know what's going on. Yeah, they're quiet. They're being quiet now. I'm hoping they just fall asleep. They've been running around like crazy. These are all utilities or plugins, or I'm trying to think of what else I have. There's the uncapper there. So I don't use the high def audio. Um, I'm going to set this up for TPOS2 as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But I'm not going to go with normally what I go with. Yeah, file access. I do want the special edition patch though. Yes, I do. Let's grab this one first. And oops. We'll grab file access. This is the one that has, yeah, the top one. I'm also going to have to watch my ESLs because running this, I'm not going to be able to have any ESLs at all. None whatsoever. So like I said, it's going to be a smaller mod list. Well, as far as patches and things of that nature go. And these two should be master files. Yes, they are. Okay. And what else do I have? Let's just check and see. That's why I always... Oop. Oh, I cleared the wrong one. I knocked out Yash. Oh well. Base mods. Okay. Let's see here. We have console util. We have the uncapper. We have the unofficial patch. Um, I am not going to use cutting room floor. I don't believe so. I could. Um, it's give up cutting room floor or use Nesbit's Whiterun. Um, let's see when it pops up here. It should be somewhere. Where is it? Cicados. The walls on the outside don't allow you to run CRF, unfortunately. This is the old version of it, Walls of Whiterun. I think it's on the second page. Yep, Whiterun here. So you can see by the images, um, little outskirts, but major walls, and you could tell this is Snakeback Bridge. This would be the meadery. All of this content is added in, but also up by there's the stables. There's all added content over here. The walls extend all the way down towards almost where you fight the dragon. There is a lot of content, mostly in this area. You can see all of this has been added. The campfire has been added. The NPCs have been added. There's a lot of content here. This is everything you're looking at. There's only 9 pictures, but it's set up pretty good. This over here, this is the Whiterun Outdoor Market, which is added by TPOS2, not by the Whiterun mod itself. The Whiterun mod itself is for the walls, is the majority of that mod. The problem is you can't run cutting room floor, which I'm okay with. Even though CRF gives you your cut content, some of the other locations that have been cut out, it's one of those things where I could live without it to have this, because I am going to spend a lot of time in Whiterun, and Rebellion. I'm going to have to check the Rebellion version. I know he sent me a different file. Because... Oh no, this is the right one. Okay. This is the version I want. Okay. Good to know. Sweet. Alright, so no CRF. Unofficial patch, file access. Um, Let me check my save mods. Because I have the feeling... Alright, we will be doing some of this classical lichdom. We're going to be adding classical lichdom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my old file real quick. PC load order. I should have it pinned. This is Tim's. This is Athroflower's. Um, yeah, I'm going to take a look at this mod list. Even though it's got the Cold Haven start, it's got my main stuff, EMB Helper, Papyrus Util, Better Jumping, Floating, oh that's right, Floating Health Bars. When it loads. Bam. Expired. Yeah. version looks good. Okay. Beautiful. That's where the bulk of my stuff really is up top. Right. Yep. What else do I have? Let's see. Console util, have it. To your face. That's another one. And what else do I have? Let's see. JContainers UI extension. Yep. So all of these are going to be SC. Yep, that's the right one. There it is. Okay. So to your face looks good. JContainers. This one I'm going to have to set. UI extensions. Looks good. Okay. Place these above the unofficial patch. It's going to do it. It's just. And this is going to work itself out because these are treated as master files anyway. You can leave that alone. Another one I'm going to add, and I always add to the top, is gist. Genuinely, yeah, intelligent soul trap. I found that this is the best place to put it. Don't worry about the rustic soul gems patch. With the other file, it actually comes with the patch for it. So can put this up under FIS, even though it's not a core mod, but it's where I tend to put it. So let's see. Let me take a look at my list again. Add item menu. Yes, add item menu gist, then the unofficial patch. GDO. Okay. So yeah, like I said, make sure both versions are the same as your game in SKSE. That is beautiful. All right, back to Nordic. Guard dialogue, weapons and clothing, rustic, armor clothing extensions. So if it seems like there's a lot that's going on my computer, that's okay. GDO, you want the main file. Then weapons, armor, clothing, and clutter. The fixes. I just grabbed the main file. I don't alter the, I don't go for the 4K textures or anything like that, or 4K, 2K. I just go with the base. And then rustic clothing. I'm going to do the 2K, 1K, just because I can't justify the full 2K version of this. And it's a good size mod anyway, it's 345 megabytes. Ace. Includes up to 2K. Install the main file first. Yeah, I just want the main file here. Or do I want the optional? Hold on. Main file includes up to 2K. Size normals. No. Oh, no, I was just wondering. Well, here, my first question was because I'm not running Shadowman's DLL, what I did with your. I'm not sure if you were watching or anything, but let me show you real quick. So I have your. Where is it? Roleplay, the uncapper, right? I have it installed, but I have it installed over the Skyrim skill uncapper itself. So when I open this and explore, and I'll open this with Notepad, your files actually, all I did was just change the name over here because I'm using SKSE obviously, and all I did was I kept your level caps because I found that the 255 seems to be pretty standard across the board as far as an uncapper goes. I didn't touch the formula caps. I just adjusted the skill experience gain multipliers, and I adjusted these manually myself. Everything else I left alone. For now, anyway. I just wanted to see if it would overwrite it the same way. And it does. You know, you don't need a DLL, like a separate DLL for it. And these I've also left alone. I'm curious to see how it's going to play. But I remember running with I did install it was Shadowman's and then there was a different one. I did both of them respectively, one each. Shadowman's and I can't remember the name of the other one. I ran those, and then the uncappers, their version of an uncapper as a separate mod, overwriting the skill uncapper itself. But I find it just a little bit easier for myself to merge them just by physically changing the name. So the name changed from role players, like your role players uncapper. It changed. I just changed it to Skyrim skill uncapper, so it would merge with this, and everything seemed to be fine. We'll know when we get in game, you know, but I've done it a few times, but I wasn't sure because I did see you say required, and I know the other ones also say required too, but they also say you don't need, as long as you're running SKSE, you don't need to run the like Shadowman's or any of the other one. That was the only thing. It's still going to be interesting to see how it runs because I'm running perma. I'm not running ordinator. So I'm running Percus Maximus, or I will be anyway. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, GDO. Yes. Weapons, armor, clothing, clutter. Yes. Rustic. Yes. That'll take a sec. Oh, here I'll show what I'm talking about. Uh, so these two here, um, you already know what they are, the uncapper, and then this is the one that I ran the last time. I ran Cal's because I was running Ordinator. If you watch this video, it says to it'll tell you how to do it, or installation. You could do it manually, or you can overwrite it. Overwrite the original ini. So that's literally all I did, but not for Ordinator because the uncapper itself only touches the base. Well, what I mean by that is like the skills are the same, um, and their values without running the ini are all set to 1. the level cap should all be at 100 normally. It would be what, like, a vanilla game would be. Um, you can create a separate mod with them. You can have the base skill and capper here, and then create, say, if I want to do it, we'll say Magus80's skill and capper version 1.0 generic, whatever, right? And just put it right here where you see Papyrus util to overwrite it. Or you can run something like Shadowman's, and then like say if that was my version of it, I would run my version of it. Or you could just, instead of that, because you're running SKSE, merge merge them directly. Oh, okay, enjoy. I am doing load order. Whoa, get off my screen. You come up here. Alright. Weapons, armor, clothing, clutter. Hide the bash patch level fix. Do not need it. Does not need it. And I need EMB helper. Forgot to add this. We have to figure out what weather and EMB we're going to be going with as well. I'm not 100% sure on that one yet. Put this up a little bit higher. Put it under consolate. Yeah, as long as it's up top, usually it's pretty good. User interface. All right. For the most part, save mod files. I'm going to take out. Oh, I don't know. This one. And this one. How do I have them set up? So new Sky UI, Sky HUD, matter of time, immersive HUD. I don't think Rudy's been updated. I've been wanting to use that one. I know EMB itself is updated, but I don't think Rudy's updated to the newest version of EMB. Which is, I always run the latest version of EMB. We will have to see. EMB. Let's see, we're going to take ESP version, take the Oblivion, iHUD compatibility. So we have, oh, we have Sky HUD, and then we have a matter of time. A clock widget. So these should all be here. This off Skyhide. And then Dear Diary. Yeah, these are all mods that I can't play without. I've gotten so used to a different HUD. I went back and I played on console doing a test recently, and the HUD is it's terrible. It's awful. We'll have to set up Dear Diary as well for funsies. Alright, HUD, you look good. More HUD. You need a change. Inventory addition. You need a change. And we're going to put you guys all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bingo. Beautiful. Up top here, we got 1, 2, 3, 5. And before I get to your diary, which I have, I want, what's the name of it? This one. Customizable UI replacer. And I have to see, it's a certain order for this, requirements. So I have a matter of time, I have file access, we have Skyhide. Let's get this. We want the Skyhide version. And we want the widget mod as well. Um, so, Tim, I'm not sure if you're still hanging out. Let's put that. We got Skyhide. Widget doesn't give me a. I thought it did. Oh, it does. Yeah. We want that after Skyhide. Do you know the? Do you remember the order? Let's go classic. I did what did I do before. I did main preset, but I think I want the classic one because of the. I liked it a little bit better. Custom font, normal, display enemy numbers, install. I know this has to overwrite. Hey Lego. Well, it's yeah. Well, yeah, it's gonna be new. Um, I was doing it for a couple of reasons, but both Mel and Loki are MIA for this part of it. I went to have dinner and they were working on their load orders, and the other day and the day before they were both Like I got peppered with questions as to what to do. So I said, all right, I'm going to do a setup tomorrow and I'll go step by step. So I don't know if they're gonna wind up rewatching the video. I earlier they were both in there, but I don't know if they're here lurking or doing what. But I saw them in chat, so I started the stream back up. I said I'll be back after I eat something. We're gonna go a little bit lighter, but I'm gonna keep Legacy in there. I wasn't. I liked everything. My whole other setup was great. It's 100%. It was 100% crash free. We only had the Chrome freeze issue when Chrome itself froze up, and basically like I had to manually shut my computer off because for whatever reason it locked up the task manager. But other than that, it was 59 FPS, no issues, no stutters, no nothing. 400 something mods and 301 plugins. Yeah, it was beautiful. The only other thing I kind of wished was that NAT would have lowered uh, the night sky. I had it lowered by I had it lowered by 100% by the end of last night, and it was still too bright. So I don't know if that was EMB affecting it or what, but I won't be using NAT this time around. But Legacy's going to be a focus. The other thing too with it was I liked the character, but I didn't like the effects that the poisons had on them. They barely put a dent in the enemies, and because the formulas changed so much, it was a little tedious. And then my character wound up leveling, so she basically was starting to become a sneak archer. And that's not my playstyle anyway. I'm a mage for the most part. My characters are mostly all magic of some form. It was one of the first times in a long time where nothing went wrong. I had everything go right. Even the NPC merge was 100% fine. I left Wicco off it, and every single woman I came across in the game was amazing. And I used a couple male overhauls too, so certain men had the overhaul, certain ones didn't. But Wicco seemed to be the culprit there. You can't really run them both unless you use the script cleanup for it. It just causes issues. Um, we'll have to see. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Check the description for this. Install Skyhud. Matter of time widget. This. Swap these around. Alright, so we have SkyUI, Skyhud, matter of time widget, custom UI replacer. Alright, okay. They look good. Same as the other one. We can delete that. Okay. Let's see what else I had here. Dear Diary. We just set Dear Diary up. We have to install Dear Diary. Journal stats, system menu replacer. Minor tweaks such as flashing save game fixed, quick save button removed. Yeah. Mod configuration menu replacer, MCM. Yep. Install map, beige map, no. Let's leave that at no too. Keep the regular map icons. So here goes a former Alakir turned spellsword-ish assassin. Red guards are underrated, Gina. With Imperius, I'm not sure how some of the other overhauls like Aetherius and Valkyrie. I'm sorry, Valkyrie's perks. What am I talking about? What's the other one? CCO. God, CCO was I think you could combine them. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can combine them. You get the best of both. Or there was one mod off CCO you had to leave off, like the Lord, like the race, like the heights. I think you had to leave your heights alone because they were already adjusted. But I believe you could have combined them. Yeah, red guards are underrated. And with Imperius, I think the what's the one? The passive is the unlimited stamina out of combat as just one. And then I think uh, I forget what the other one is. Something sand dance or something like that. Where if you kill at least 3 enemies, it will eventually unlock a power or a passive for you. I think you have to do like 10 or 30 times or something like that. They're underrated, and they have a bunch of really interesting uh, starting stat bonuses. Nice. I've done a few. I've done my one red guard was a like a monster hunter. I guess is kind of the best way to explain it. Um, this is when the crossbows like first came out and everybody had this amazing infatuation with them. Yeah, Imperius. Yep. Um, so he was like one of the last, well, tech quote unquote sword and board, but not sword. Um, like warrior type of crossbow. But I tried going with the light armor. I tried a little bit. Like he was basically a jack of all trades, but he didn't go into every skill, but he had some skill in everything. Yeah, yeah, that's what I hear. I'd rather Imperius, to be honest with you. You could always make a character look better with it. It just doesn't work with certain ones. I used it with the last one I just did with my female. She was fine. So, and I think I had what 16 total character overhauls going on, and Imperius was overwriting all of them. So it's doable. The only other thing that I've ever really seen was the wrist seam bug with it. You get real white hair. That's interesting. Who's the vanity kit by? Because it sounds familiar. Oh, that's okay. I thought you might have known. You don't have to look it up or anything like that. I'm not gonna choose these. Oh, level up I can choose. That'll be fine. I think even the sleep weight should be fine, but not the message box. We're gonna leave that normal. Tutorials, no. Training. I will leave the training good. Tab, yes. Yes, yes, that is good. Smaller quill 2. Ah, too late. Upload spinning. Yep, that looks good. Finish, good. Okay. Yeah, Dear Diary is gonna also overwrite part of Morahud. That's fine. I was running Sovngarde Bold. I'm not going to this time. I'm gonna go back to Font Overhaul. I like that one. I had considered using the Enderall font, but I just like this one better. It's simple. It's actually a larger mod. It's almost 7 MB, but I should say it's not larger mod. But what else do I have here? Dennis83. I'm not familiar with him. Dennis83. That's interesting though. I know there's a couple you that it's like because of the edits, you'll get the you'll have like the face issues, or some of them won't have hair, or it'll look like they're bald with like a really bad receding hairline. Um, and then some of them just have the neck seam issue. I couldn't begin to tell you. I didn't make Imperius, so, and nor have I looked at it in Xedit for any reason. Skill interface, then better dialogue control. Discover. Jeez, lockpicking. SIRT. This is a cool mod. I like this one. Let's see. So we're gonna go see if I can do this one real quick. Default radiant, yes. Um, Option 3. I like the blue. Oh, we'll take the purple this time, I think. Teal. Is there red? I like the purple. We'll take the purple. Constellation option 4. Option 2. More stars. HDR Nebula. And thank me for downloading your mod. Oh, yeah, no, I know. Tarshana. She had to that one's still well, here's the thing with this. So I don't know if that mod has been updated yet or if she's even gone back to take a look. All I know is that with both celestial versions of that on console, right? Um Imperius works. However, your no matter which race you choose, your stats are all starting at 100. And that's regardless of any other skin mod you want to throw on top of it or with anything else because it's built in like that. It for whatever reason it never adjusted the values. So I don't know if that's something that she can easily go back in and change. I would assume it would be because I mean if you're basically combining the NPC overhaul with Imperius, Imperius should have the final say. Having said that, the last time I had checked it, uh, occasionally there were a select group of 4 NPCs who all had the Fruity Pebble face. Included in that group are Serana, Isolda, uh, what's her, Janassa, and the fourth one. The fourth one. Uh, can't think of the chick's name. She wasn't in a white run either. I'm drawing a blank. There was a fourth. But you might encounter one, you might encounter two, you might encounter all four. But you were guaranteed at least one with either version of Celestial. It may have been updated. I have no clue. I have no idea. But it was always an issue, and every time I brought it up, I got bitched at by certain other people. That's why I'm no longer in that Discord. Well, it's one of the reasons I'm no longer in that Discord. Start asking questions, like you start asking logical questions, and you'd get flamed. Like, how dare you go against? As my mic shuts off on me as I'm in the middle of a rant. Yeah, you can't ask questions about things like that. Which I was upset about because there was other people that were coming to me asking me, "Do I know?" And I said, "I have no idea. I'm not the one that made the mod." Said she won't. Yeah, that makes sense. She won't. She won't fix. Well, she won't update Vadosprum to the latest version, the regular, like the dense, normal, and less. And the summer one's been broken, I think, since it was uploaded originally. If it's gotten uploads or if it's gotten updates since then. The summer one's the one I just played, um, with the female Nord that I just used literally yesterday. I'll be honest, I when Stitch was here, I had commented to her. This is after I'd put out a few mods already, and TPOS was a thing. I wanted to work with her. Um, Not necessarily together like on a compilation mod, but I wanted to have mods from both groups like incorporated. Um, but it was one of those things that I never got a response to. I mean, I know what the response would have been anyway, but I knew I wasn't going to get a response, but I had to ask. We had a lot of people that wanted because Arthmore's a main, like he's still one of her main backers and vice versa. Um, but it goes back to this. When TPOS 2 came out, we had a lot of people come over to our Discord in general, and a lot of them asked if Divine Cities was compatible. We immediately got an answer back from her saying absolutely not. However, and I'll show you, Xbox should be saved. Sword went and tested by herself a full TPOS 2 setup with Divine Cities. Now, Divine Villages is not compatible whatsoever. But Divine Cities is. She has her load order pinned here because she went and she tested this. We found one landscape split throughout the whole thing and no CTDs. When we were asking, if she thought they would be compatible, we got an immediate response of absolutely not. So don't always immediately believe everything you hear from people, whether you think they're in the hierarchy, because not everybody's always right. Sword completely debunked that entire thing with this right here. That's why we have it pinned. I'm upset because of the attitude. I respect a lot of what she knows as a modder. Um, she's way above my level, way above in terms of actual knowledge, in terms of personality. Uh, I wish she'd wise up to the world and not be such an asshole, because she could be a really good asset to the whole community. You know, if she wasn't such a bitch. Plain and simple. That's how it is. That's how we were. That's how a lot of us were treated when we were over there. We were just treated as inferior and beneath the shoe. You know, I got booted from hers just for joining SOS. I didn't even know the drama that was going on between them. All because I wanted to mod myself. And she didn't want me to leave there. She's like, "Well, we have Arthmore here, we have Old Man's Beard here," and I'm like, "Well, it's not that I don't want to have you guys around." I said, "I just want to have access to a lot of other people because I'm a noob and I'm sure there's things that they know about that you don't. Not every one person knows every little thing." And I was trying to just how to explain it. Expand myself outward. It's probably the best way. And then I wake up like 2 days later and the Discord was down and I was, blocked, whatever. I was banned. So it is what it is. A lot of mod authors do that too, though. They make their mods not as compatible with others. That's not uncommon. It's not a great practice, but it's not uncommon. And some do it they kind of out of necessity, like they have to make it, choose this mod or choose this mod because if any combination of the two they just won't work right. This mod will have a fault here, and then my mod would have a fault here, and then your game's gonna get screwed up and borked, and it's just better if you had to make a choice A or B. That's common. That happens all the time. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. Like I respect what she knows. I respect what she's some of the things she does. I respect the fact that on the surface she appears to want to help, even if a lot of it's a facade. I just wish she was a better person overall. That's gonna make me sound holier than thou, and that's far from the case. But I mean, you know, a lot of information in that mind, and horrible personality, and it's sad. It's sad to see it like that, but it is what it is. And there's people like that everywhere. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. I don't want to go on a Tarshana rant. I've already done that a few times. Yeah. What are we doing? Better dialogue. Undiscover. So we'll set this up for perma. I've grown that I've grown tired of Ordinator. I just know it so well that it's almost not worth me running it anymore. I've run some of the other ones too. Shit. I've run some of the other ones. But I find that if you don't fully change the game 100%, you're gonna revert right back to a sneak archer. That's pretty much what it is. So ESLs like this, I'm gonna have to wind up adjusting. I'm gonna have to change it into an actual ESP if I want to run the patcher with this. Uh, that's the downside. The upside is it works. It's foolproof. It does work. There are no other issues with it. Let's see what else is on my list here. Ooh, Dragonborn delayed. That's a good one. Deleted. I just want the box, sir. Dragonboard. And I wonder how Perma's going to play with Legacy when I have to go in and de-ESLify everything. That's going to be fun. We'll do Alduin's Wall yet again. Yep. And yeah, that looks good. What else is on my list? Ooh, alternate start. Did I not have? Oh no, I put it on the bottom. That's why. Dongar delayed. We shall delay this one as well. 9 files. Let's delay Dongar to level. Eh. I think I installed this and for some reason it didn't work. I don't know why. When did I install this? A couple days ago? Oh no, it's been a while. Never mind. I lied. July. Um, let's put it off to level 30. Level 30 is always a good level for shit to happen at. I like how it defaults to that too. You get to scroll down and pick the name. Get off my screen. Hey, Mel is back. You already screwed up. Now MO2. It won't open. Alright, so what did you do? Run it as administrator. Oh, okay. Wait, so you make me scratch my head, Mel. I love you, but you make me scratch my head sometimes. So between 10:21 p.m. my time and 10:23 p.m. my time, you screwed up MO2 and it won't open, and then you figured it out. But you had the time to post that. That's why I love you. Something got stuck. Ooh, what am I looking at here? Hold on. Hey, Mr. B's. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. B has a room. For those of you who are unaware, anytime he has any type of content at all, questions, concerns, if you're running any of his mods, we've opened up a new one. I told him he could change the name to whatever he'd like to. I just put Mr. B's Slice of Oblivion because at the time I was just waking up and couldn't think of anything better. So yeah, my brain isn't on yet. This was at 2:14 this afternoon because my brain was off. All right. Quality world map. Let's get the classic with all. Or do I want the vivid, the stone? I'm not really sure. Oh, good. Proceed. Oh man, it's gonna suck when you're on West Coast time again, because our times are already messed up to begin with. This is like the first time I've actually gotten to talk to you in a long time. I guess we'll go. I want the flat roads. I'll go classic with all. It's usually the one I use. Classic with all roads and clear map skies. I like these two. Hey, load my shit up. Come on. There we go. It freezes there sometimes. Classic. With all row ads. Clear map skies. Change the name. They look good. I like when they look good. I'm gonna put these. Well, I'll leave them right there. They look good right there, right? Yeah, 10:26 p.m. for now. It's now 10:27. Oh, what else was I running? Let's see. Let's take a look. So we won't be doing any of the great cities. I'm gonna completely leave these out. The great city mods are gonna stay out completely. I'm not running any of Arthmore's town overhauls because there are way too many patches with landscape fixes. I am not running JKs. Those other towns are going to be vanilla. I'm going to leave them alone. Smoking a pancake. That's a cookie. I'm not. I'm going to leave them vanilla. Aside from Nesbit's mods. So whatever Nesbit's modded for towns, that's what I'm going to use. If he hasn't touched it, they are staying vanilla. Incognito. Oh, Castle Volkahar rebuilt. I do want this one. Yep, grab it. This technically isn't in UI, but I guess I could put it somewhere else. I could put it up above. Let's put it with let's put it under Parthenak's dilemma. That's normally where I usually put it somewhere there. I didn't run them with the Nord that I was running the last 2 days, and I don't believe I saved the mod list or the plugins list, but it was like an alternate to running a TPOS load order, and it ran 100% great for me. I'm gonna leave off things like complete alchemy. I was going to use it. Well, maybe I'll put it in for this one. I don't know. This character is not going to be an alchemy reliant character. I will use some of the potions. Um, no, I better leave it off because then it will focus too much on that, and this character's not even going to focus on cooking. I'm just going to eat whatever I can eat. Let me see here. What was I using? No survival. Ooh, Jay's lockpicking. Do I have? I do have Jay's lockpicking. Okay, good. Undiscovered, Dragonborn, alternate start. Duh. Okay, forgot that one. Anything else here that I need? I can't use New Beginnings because New Beginnings is not compatible with TPOS 2, unfortunately. What does Yash say? Is there anything that I may be missing? User interface, UI extensions I have, AQ, WM, I have that. Should be the same thing. No more laser printed book. That's funny. SSIRT, love that mod. Yeah, they're about the same. Extended UI. Let's get alternate start first. Let's see if this one's been. Huh. Is that. I'm probably putting it in wrong. Oh, that's an older mod. Hold on a second. I read Yash real quick. Oh, not gonna need it. Alright. I thought I might. Yeah, this is. Yeah, I'll set up TPOS too. Yep. Yeah, they're always guessing. Like I said, I do more modding than I do playing with the characters. I just do it to have fun. I don't mind this actually. This is relaxing for me. I've already played. I'm coming up on like 18,000 hours of gameplay. So, yeah. It's almost more fun for me to do this. I like to sit in front of a computer and move little lines above and below things, and that's about it. Honestly, it bugs you guys, I think, more than it bugs me. A fin play, huh? Hey, my Argonian had badass fins. Alright, what am I doing here? Alt start. Bam. There we go. Alright. Loading screens. Where are you? Have add item menu. Have UI. There you are. And there you are. These two categories should be reversed in the separators, but they're not. That's okay. I'm only going to run the one sound mod, or one music mod, that's it. Full screen install. It's still going. Yeah, music and audio should be swapped. Alright, so get lucidity on this one, and immersive sounds on this one. Grab immersive sounds from there. Grab lucidity from here. And the new sounds we will merge in, if it lets me. And immersive sounds, let's go semi-smooth equip, stick. Go high fantasy, alternate. Wrestling, TSS summoning, yep. And yeah, these are gonna be fun. I'm honestly not really interested in new games. I mean, the only other thing that I would really play, maybe Witcher 3. I like older stuff. Like I said, I used to be in a first-person shooters. Um, I'm still really, really good at fighters, like the Tekken game, Soul Calibur. I could probably pick that up now within like 10 minutes, kick everybody's ass. I used to be really good at those games. But as far as like other stuff, the Fallout games, stuff like that, I know they're made by Bethesda, but like no real interest. AC, I enjoy watching Ren play them, but I have no interest in playing them myself. I'd go back and play like the older Final Fantasy. Like I don't know, it's like the stuff that I grew up on. I can appreciate like good graphics and stuff like that, but as far as like something to pull me in, I mean, it takes a lot to really pull me in. Yeah, I do, Mel. I have it set up for portable. Yep, yep, yep. All right, lucidity. Ooh, audio settings. Yep. This is a big boy here. He is 500 and like 25 megabytes total. Lucidity. It's amazing though. I absolutely love this. I look at it like this. I've spent so much money on games. I'm closing in on something like 700 original Nintendo games. I had, I think, at one point 130 SNES, PlayStation. I couldn't even count. PS2. I spent, and it wasn't like I just that's all I did because I played sports all my life. So I mean that's what I really did the most of. And then I got involved in mechanics when I was young. So then it was rebuilding cars. I've done a lot of everything. All right, come on. Did I already watch this? Let's see if this does it. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah. All right. Now we're better. Yeah, those categories are flip flopped. Ah, boy. Kill the orchestra. Lucidity, yeah. I combine that with immersive sounds. It's amazing. Yep. I don't use audio overhaul anymore. There's way too many patches. Like, way too many patches for this, and it's honestly not nearly as good as Lucidity. Not nearly as good. This was really popular on LE, and when SE came out, I think it was ported almost immediately. Or it was one of the I guess like in the first wave of mods that came over to Special Edition. Um, Still a fantastic mod. I just once I heard Lucidity for myself, I'm like, yep, that's what I'll be using from now on. All right, bam, large scale texture. We need the particle patch, so we have to get that from EMB Dev. And I'm sorry, Mega. Mega has it. There we go. Let's put these back in my saved mods folder. And Mr. Particle Patch, you are about to be installed. Under main textures meshes. Okay, cool. You're on the SKSE part. Does Lucidity break anything from unique uniques? No, shouldn't. I don't use unique uniques. Lego, so I have no idea. I know um, a lot of those are included in the replacers. If that's what you were asking, like sound wise, I have no idea. They're literally just audio files for the most part. I mean, it's basically all effects. And then we got the new stuff in here. So I mean, if you want me to go through each one, I don't see why it would be an issue. My sounds for the levels. Oh, I love it. That's one of my favorite parts. You're talking about the unique uniques mod for the weapons, right? We are talking about the same thing here. Hold on a second. Okay. This mod here, the original by Insanity Star, right? Yeah, item replacer. Yeah, I know. I heard them saying the sounds. Um, this is all that's replaced. And Angie's bow has an optional scope. So for because this has been around for a while, for 60 megabytes, I think this is like 90 on console, right? This is obsolete. I like some of them. I like some of the images, right? Like the pale blade looks decent. This is probably the best one out of the whole set, in my opinion. Um, these are either included in others or they're done better. I don't know anybody that still runs this mod. You could see the last update right after Special Edition came out. So, but you could see probably, let's see here, where is it? Perms. Permission to search that Kansas files are originally mine. I would have to see Insanity's original permission because these assets have been used time and time again. But as far as this actual mod, no, I would never run it. I ran it once on console and I didn't like it. Any other weapon replacer ever? No. Jasus, T Skyrim is probably one of my. I don't know if it's a full replacer as far as adds in true weapons. I'll show you exactly what's in here. Um, I don't think. Oh yeah. So replacer. Bloodskull Blade is replaced by Billy Rowe. Shield of Solitude is replaced by Uniques. So Sandy Sorrow stuff is in here. Or at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I know of. On top of these, the entire Daggercraft package, all of Gosus, most of the Dragon Steel weapons, Oblivion weapons, all Billy Rowe weapons made. Wait, all Billy Rowe weapons, weapon mods, Old Rim and Special Edition, all Farinelli weapons, Brody even block shield mod, Secret of the Silver Blades, these katana crafting, axes and how like everything, and then the replacers. Maybe a next update so you can see what's not in here, like lore weapons expansion, the Insanity Sorrow actual pack, which I think is the same one I just had up. Oh no, this is different. This is this version here. Oh. So glass, silver, Dwemer steel, the Stanford, the Bastard, Umbra ebony. That's it. So even still, this one's not that much. T Skyrim True Weapons. Um, it's almost 1.5 gigabytes, but it's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. If you're running any type of character with weapons, the full line of this is the Horker stuff. I should tell me down there. I think at the bottom. I can't remember exactly which packs these are from. That's not Daggercraft. This is from Gosu weapon pack. I remember this from console. It had one shield, the boarding axe, because I used to use this axe all the time, and I think everything else. Oakheart the dagger. I love this one. Also includes the Oriel line, including the bolts, which look, I like the design. They look pretty badass. So yeah, you can see all of these are included. Daggercraft, there it is right there. It's a pretty cool mod itself. Not too many people like it, but I love it. Katana crafting, which is actually this is a pretty damn good mod. Some people find it a little too colorful. I like it. Yeah, the Thane stuff's either included or it's going to be in an update. Let me see what it says here. Hold on. Thane weapons reborn by Ice Cream Assassin should be in the next update. Right here. Because these are pretty good. I like these. They're interesting. They're like stuff I would put on a placeholder, put on a weapon rack. Possibly use. There'd probably be like 2 in here that I would actually use. The rest I would just display. They look pretty. That's just me though. But that should be in the next update here. Weapons of the Third Era. This is an underrated mod. This is one I absolutely love. If it loads up, you'll see it go from to Old Rim or to LE, I guess you could say. The silver. These were so much better. There's some of these included in I think Lore Weapons expansion. I could be wrong. Yep. Anyway, it's yeah, T Skyrim. I'll have that one in this setup eventually. What was I doing? I was doing some stuff with some things. We have Skyrim Particle Patch. We have ETD. We have Static Mesh and the Material Fix. We will attempt to grab these two. And three. Perhaps it doesn't work. Oh boy. Yo, what's going on, Satan? Uh, Xbox is a pain in the ass. Just think if OneDrive's the better of the two. I was using XDVR. That's even worse. I mean, I still use it, but you know, it's even worse. So you must have started streaming when I was just waking up. I woke up really late this afternoon. What were you streaming? Were you streaming Skyrim? Because I think I was probably in on the whole conversation. I just don't remember it because I wasn't awake. Like I'm remembering you saying you streamed or you were going to stream. Oh, Mel, why would you get one thing? Ah, damn headphones. I'm allowed to have excuses. I'm allowed to have excuses and I'm always right. Ah, bam. That should be good. Okay. Modern Warfare. Oh, okay. Oh, come here, you. Install everything. I was tempted to do an all Skyland setup just to make it easy. And I'll leave this open for now, but we're coming up real close on it. So if you'd rather see an all Skyland setup, or if you'd rather see, otherwise I go at Noble. Noble is pretty much my go-to. And it's coming up after RCI. We have a couple to get here. all these fixes and update files and temple chandelier, ratway wood, giggity. That was quick. Install everything. You biatch. That's what I do. I run the uh, pics off my phone from the app. It's easier. A Midian Born Book of Silence. It's an LE mod. It's weapons, armor, DLC, uniques. I'll show you here real quick. Uh, let's go back. Ah, crap. I think I need to fix this, though. Hold on. Yeah, I got these. I need these fixes. Final version. Give me 1 second. Alright. There's a bunch of Amidian Born mods, but Book of Silence, this is Cabal. There's 9 files here. This is the armors, right? You can see the file size, right? This is creatures. This is your Dragonborn DLC. This is your uniques. This is your weapons. This is your add-on content. These are miscellaneous fixes. Some of these you need, some of these you don't. You have to get to each one of these individually, and there's some things you need to fix for special edition, but they all work. It's still not converted. What's not converted? And all Lovers Lab. I've only been on there once, and it was to grab one mod, and it was for this last character, and it wasn't a nude mod, surprisingly. There are actually, I keep saying this, there's actually good mods that are non, you know, that on there. They're done by really competent people. It's just they're not allowed to be hosted on a site like Nexus. Yeah, the man's trying to put you down there, Satan. Doesn't want you to know that I went live. Uh, must be what it is. It is what you're looking for, Mel. So there's 890 photos to look through. Um, it's got almost 100,000 endorsements, and it's a million unique downloads, 11 million total downloads. This is this. I mean, there are a series of mods, and this is just one mod page with a bunch of files. So, but it takes a little maneuvering to make it work with Special Edition. Not you can't just plug and play for most of them. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, no, I've only been on there once. Literally, well, no, was it once? Yeah, it was once. Not that I haven't seen. You like you'd have to really wow me. Two girls, one cup didn't wow me. So, a site like that's not gonna wow me. You ordered your CPU? Nice. So your GPU, your motherboard, SSD. What'd you go with? Or what are you planning on putting together? I think the hardest part about doing it is saving up, buying it all, like buy it all together, do it all at once. The going bit by bit and then waiting sucks. Like it really sucks because then you have half the shit sitting here and you want to use it, and then life happens. Be a regular. I'm, yeah, a Ryzen 5. I'm not really familiar with Ryzen stuff. I was gonna go with it, and then I started researching Intel because I was more familiar with Intel anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, what I'm assuming that video is probably taken down at some point. That like I said, I saw it. It didn't do anything for me. Like I didn't get that weird that what was it that yeah the wow factor just like that. I was expecting it to be raunchy, but it wasn't that bad, you know. I mean, what they were doing was whatever. It's not anything that I get my rocks off to. Just nothing I haven't seen before. We have RCI. We need the Falmer Temple. We need this. We need to merge this. We need to merge this. We need to merge this. And this is the fixes. And they already look good. Okay. So we have RCI. And bam. How many plugins? What do I have? Alternate start. You can come down here. I was surprised I went there too. Something I haven't seen in a while anyway. We're at Noble. I think I'm just going to go at Noble again. No, yeah, I hear you, dude. Well, Mel, you gotta like you were watching before when I was streaming SKSE, right? You saw how you have to check to make sure the version's working in your game before you don't just go down, don't just install SKSE, then install all your other mods and then try to play and scratch your head if the game CTDs immediately. Okay. And I think between Tim, Rooster, myself, and the streams, the guides are up there as like a reference. I don't have the guides pinned because I'm only pinning stuff that like we've actually built ourselves. Like a load order that one of us has built, yeah, we're using other people's works and mods, but like that's on my computer. That's on Rooster's, that's on Tim's, that's on Mr. B's, etc. You retracted the devil. Ah, there, yeah, there you go. Crazy. Yeah, I'm just gonna go noble again. I was gonna go all Skyland, but I like this combination better. Cause when I'm done, it looks like this. And I like the way this looks. What else do I have here? Yep. Alright. Noble it is. Come here. Come here, you. Full pack. 2.5 gigs. Bam. Gotta take a little bit. Slow connection tonight. Ugh. Yeah, they're back and forth so much. It honestly doesn't matter. Just build, get anything quality. Do your research. Anything quality should be fine. I mean, if you're going like how Satan's going, if he's going like piece by piece, just save a little longer, buy something that's good. Whether it's Intel or AMD. Got merge. Noble it is. And I forgot to do. What did I forget to do? Ah, that would be why. Meshes, dungeons, mines. There's that. Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. If you're building for yourself, it's not gonna matter. You're if you're gonna spend the money on quality. Don't just buy like cheap shit because you just had the money enough to get this. If you know you want something and like build for the future. Like I could have bought piece by piece by piece along the way because I had the money to do it at the time. But I felt like I'm just going to wait until I have enough to justify and cover myself so that I could buy an entire setup for a PC and not even put a dent in my savings. And then I could do it all at once. Like I said, that took me 2 years. So that's what that was. And I was on a budget. So my budget was 3 grand. Which is why it's still not, top of the line. There's certain components that, like you'll see Rooster has that are like much higher than mine. Components that like John Rose has that are higher than mine. But he's I guess like buying and selling all the time. He's upgrading constantly. Whereas I probably won't till the middle of this coming year. Might be the next time or if something fails on me and I have to replace it. Yeah, I didn't have the money at the time, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough and I could just say, hey, here's 3 grand, here's a PC. I could still not work for 6 months and not have to worry about life. So I needed something to do when I was off work too, when my back was bad. I was bored, so I built a PC. I wasn't getting paid to be off work either. I was using FMLA. Kind of sucked. I was not getting paid to play Skyrim, but it was fun. It was fun. Oh, blended roads. Why is John Denver immediately coming into my head? We want really blended. No, I'll probably upgrade at some point this year. I'll get something different. Or I'll add more RAM. Or another SSD. There's always something. Like right now I don't need anything. Thank God. But Gina, I'm sorry. That's got to be the worst to go through when family fights over stuff like that. I mean, they'd have to pay me a lot to play. I think. I don't know what are they called? Beta testers. I wanted to be one of them when I was young. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, Mel. I just kind of assumed when somebody said pay to play, they don't make a lot. And I don't know what kind of benefits they offer them. Those guys can't be all full time. I'm sure there's a few full time beta testers, but their turnover rate's got to be insane for something like that. Yeah, Mel, I thought you were building when you moved out there, because I remember you telling me that's what your goal was. Once you moved out there, you were definitely gonna build. You had everything picked out, like the three most expensive pieces. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, runes clutter, because that thing's broken. The textures. Oh, file tree. Hold on. Meshes, dungeons, imperial portcullis. Yep. Because it's broken. Alright. I'm not really doing much of anything here with this. What do I have on my list? 3D ice flows. Detail. Secondary meshes and textures. I don't know, but I'm going to take a break because I'm looking at my screen way too much. Yeah, okay, temps are good. I put away message up, and I will be back in a little bit. About 10 or so. 10 or 15. let's see. Coming back here. Bam. YouTube. Ah. Alright, I'm back now. What's up? Oh, I have to change my thingy. Hold on. Oh no. There it is. I need to refresh my dashboard. I think for some reason it makes me do that every time. There we go. Okay, cool. So what happened with SKSE? I was like half paying attention when I was outside. SKSE is easy. I'm not sure which part you had issues with, but I'll show you real quick again. Since I already have it installed, um, just extract to the SKSE. You want that secondary folder on your desktop. Extracted it. You don't need to cut. That's why, because you're cutting it out. That's literally just extract it, open it, open this. Don't cut these. Highlight them. Left click hold, and that's it. And then take this zip, create your mod with this from here, like this, the one that's on your desktop. Set the data directory. That's it. No need to cut. Can delete that. No zip files anymore. What do you mean you can't go back now? Hold on. I'm trying to follow along. What do you mean no zip files? As in the 7-zip program, or Windows is being a fuck? Windows is being a dick fuck. Windows is the dick fuck. Okay. What do you mean no zip files? As in the 7-zip. I'm curious though because you're running the Ghost, so you'd have to download the 7-zip program with that. I don't. I'm assuming you had to do the same with Windows 10, or you got like your old key or whatever. It's still Windows. Okay. So it should come with 7-zip. Yeah. Yeah, I even keep my manager on my desktop up here. Right. So what's it not doing? As in you can't right click and not sure how to explain. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure I'm gonna understand when you do. Can't drag even a new one into the download pane. No, you don't. You use the manager to download. Use this icon up here. Hold on. Second one from the left. Don't just drag it to the left pane. Use this. Even if you were to put it into a different folder, not on your desktop, like if you were to say, I want my SKSE files in a certain place, this will find them. Because you have access to everything here. Like say you put them in C, uh, you had a folder, if you create a new folder here for SKSE plugins, you could direct it there to find it. As just an example. You want to use this tool here, install a new mod from an archive. The only time you're ever going to drag it is when you're going to put the original or the initial SKSE files into your game folder. And even then you could control A. Well, you would want to control A. You'd want to select these 5 and then control V. Highlight this, control V. Or what I like to do is just highlight the 5, left click hold, drag them in. No, that's okay. But yeah, you got to realize those older videos are older. They're still good resources, but they're older. Like he's not wrong, but it depends. It depends. Well, I know he did a couple videos for SE, but so where do I go? What do you mean? No, you don't put them in the data folder. Hold on, I'll show you. Let me open mine up. This is your Skyrim game folder. Steam, Steam apps, common, special edition. You want them in your game folder, not your data folder. Your data folder is the next one up top. You don't want anything in here. You want this blank with MO2. So go back to your game folder, just back one up. You put them in the data folder outside of data. You get it into MO2. Well, first you need these in your game folder. So you got to do these 5 first. Well, you don't need the 5, but I'm going to say grab all 5. Grab everything but the data and the source from SK. Let me see. Hold on. I'll pull this back up. Where are they? They're down at the bottom here, I think. Right? SKSE. Should be, right? Okay. Let me pull this. And let me pull this back up as if nothing happened. Okay. So that's why I have these two side by side. So this is your game folder on the right hand side here. What you're going to do, just highlight these 5. SKSE 64. Literally just drag them right there and plop them in. If I do this, since you see how it says destination has 5 files with the same name, because it's trying to put those 5 where these 5 are right here. Since I already have them, I'm not gonna. You want everything except for the data and the source. Um, then you're done with this. But you wanna keep your archive, like your SKSE archive up. To add that to MO2, it's the second to left icon from the top. It says install a new mod from an archive. Yeah, then you just install it like an archive. You select where you want, where SKSE zip is, right? This right here. Select this. See, it's this file name. Open it. It's gonna pop that nice little window up here as if you're opening a mod, but then you have to make sure you set the data directory for SKSE. Otherwise, your game will crash instantly when you go to load it up if you run it from SKSE. That's what I did in the earlier video today. That's what I was showing you guys. Because I know you and Loki were both having issues with it. It's kind of the whole reason why I wiped everything clean. Was to get you past that part so you can get modding. Yeah, go over his videos. Aren't Here's the thing, his videos aren't wrong, but they're a couple years back, and I'm not sure he did the same video for Special Edition. It should be the same thing, although MO2 has Sorry, headphones. MO2 is updated, and obviously uh, the versions of SKSE have updated because you need this created mod with the scripts. You could say SKSE data. You could say like whatever this is here is right here. That's highlighted in blue up top here. This actual zip archive is my created. So if I were to I'll open and explore, you can see all my scripts for SKSE. See this? Everything here? This is everything. Here's my source for it. Everything right here. All these two. Okay. The only other thing you need to do is you have to add it as an executable because you have to run the game with it. So that's why you need those files in your game folder, not your data folder, your game folder, so that when you go to add SKSE as an executable, you're going to hit this, you're going to hit the plus, you're going to name it SKSE, and you're going to want it to follow this path to your game folder. Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Special Edition, and you're going to want the SKSE64 loader. This is probably the hardest part for people. You're going to want this. Okay? And then that's going to allow you to run the game. So then it'll appear in your drop-down right there. Your icon may differ than mine, or it may be the same. Um, but yeah, that's how you do it. I don't know what he ran Mod Organizer. I know he ran Nexus Mod Manager. He ran Vortex. He's done tutorials on I think all of them. Um, I know he did the majority of his tutorials when the game was released, and then he did his like Skyrim Mod Sanctuary vids. But if you were to, like I've been subbed to him for a very long time, so I got to see all of the stuff as it was happening, even though I was on console at that point. But I got to watch them. Um, at the time, I was gonna buy it because I had a what I thought was a decent laptop, but in no way would it have been able to handle a modified Skyrim. Looking back on it now, there would have been no way I would have been able to even run the game. So I just stuck to console up until this year. All right, let's see. So we are on we are on Blended Roads. Let's pull this back up. And I can get rid of SKSE. I can pull this up. I can pull up my list. Noble, Blended Roads, Skyrim. Let's see what else. Secondary textures were okay. So yeah, 3D ice flows. I'm gonna hold off on the other landscape stuff. I'm gonna stick with what I had here. So we'll do 3D ice flows. This is Matthews. These under blended. Um, so the Dawnguard landscape and the Soulstem landscape, these two are no longer up on Nexus, but I have them saved, so I'm going to use them. We'll get Dawnguard out here. We'll pull Soulstem right there. Close this. I want Dawnguard first. Open that up. Set that data directory. Good. And then I also want Soulstem right there. Set directory and go. Oop. It's still working. Soulstem's a little bit bigger. Do I know the Scimitar? Yes. Sinitar was working on a something like 1600 mod setup, and he did a couple graphical showcases. I don't remember when the last one was. I get updates from his channel every once in a while. I haven't honestly checked out his guides. I know of them, and I've looked through them a little bit, but not enough to give a proper assertion. He still plays Legendary Edition for the most part, I think. Um, I would assume mainly because there's no game updates for that. It's something I've actually considered myself. The downside is the instability of LE versus SE. So I'm okay with having a 64-bit visually uh, more appealing basic game to start with and having better stability and having to deal with the game being updated. It's eventually going to stop getting updated, I think. Probably when 6 is out. But I had considered doing an LE setup. I have it. Um, it's right here. I have I've played 5 minutes enough to run it to get some ini files that I needed for Enderall. Literally. I think I reinstalled it December 15th, and I ran it for 5 minutes. I know I have more than 59 hours. This was also reinstalled. Last play, was it last played December 15th? Oh yeah, because when I play Enderall, this isn't just the DLC, this is everything. I have Shards of the Order, which is this right here. These two on my desktop there. We could put Dawnscar Landscape and Soulstem Landscape back into my little hidden library of goodness. And pull these bad boys up here. And flick the bean. I mean, activate the mod. Of course, that's what I meant. Let's see what else. He also did character builds. Some of his character builds are pretty interesting. Um, I'd have to go back in and see. He did one with, I think it's called if you YouTube search the Blood Knight, it is a Dunmer vampire but using Sacrosanct with no magic. It is a warrior-based vampire build, and it looks pretty good. I recreated that on console, and it works. It works just like he says. With the console mods that I was able to use. Obviously, the playability he's got more on PC at the time, but I did it on console. It was interesting. It was pretty fun. He's got some pretty good ideas. I don't think he's on Nexus. From what I understand, he got banned on Nexus for something. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But that's what I heard, and I heard a lot of people say it. I think it's on. I think if you go to one of his YouTube videos and you read the chat, it's in there as well. So I don't know. He did something. Other than that, the guy's got some pretty good ideas. People get banned for the dumbest things. I don't know what he did. So did or didn't do. Forgotten Vale. Yep. Oh yeah, we're past here. Forgotten Vale ice textures. Yep. Just one. It only takes one. So this is an LE mod that I am running on Special Edition. For those of you that are unaware, you can do this with certain mods. Um, Yeah, his guides aren't. Yeah, I didn't think so. Just his own site. Yep. Yeah, I honestly I haven't looked on Nexus for his guides. I did check his site out, but I'm like I said, I've been subbed to him on YouTube for a while as well. When he was putting out more Skyrim content on a more regular basis. I'm still subbed to him, obviously, but yeah, he's got some really some nice build ideas. Um, that's 1600 mod like mega ultra modded LE setup. Um, I'm not sure how far he is with that, but he did. When was the last time he did a? Say I'd have to go into. I'd have to open up another YouTube, and I don't. It'll kick me out of this one if I try to do that while I'm streaming. It's what bugged out before. Um, yeah, I'd have to go in to take a look. HD lava. That's it. Yep, there it is. I say small load order. I'm always lying. Always lying about that. I should just leave it at Ooh, shit. Fucker, you go right there. Overriding Dawnguard landscape. It's Soulstem overriding. Noble. Blended roads. Yep. That looks good. Okay, what else? Yeah, what else? What else? What else? Bash patch or merge. You would use a tool like Bash or like Zedit just to show you. It's how I do my character merges. So within Z edit, switch to Z merge, right? So if I start this session here, watch this. So what you see here is my old NPC merges, okay? This was from my very last setup. This was from the Nord that you just saw, right? So I was using Metal Saber's Beautiful Orcs of Skyrim, Ordinary Women, uh, Improved Bards is IB, right? Pandorable's NPCs, Pandorable's NPCs Dawnguard, Pandorable's NPCs Dragonborn, and it's got the my data folder listing for them. Bajin War Maidens, Bajin NPCs, Bajin Wives, Serana, and Valerica. Normally I would also use Wicco, but you basically bundle all these into a merge. So what I would do is I would hit like create merge. I would name it what I wanted to. I would check the plugins. Now, for example, what you're looking at here are all of the plugins that I currently have, aside from the master files, right? So I can't do anything with the masters, but you'll notice unofficial patch is technically an ESP that's flagged as a master, so I can merge this if I wanted to. But you'll get errors with it. I could select every single one of these, or as many as I need to, right? I'm gonna unselect them just to be sure. I would hit OK. So if I try to do this now, it's gonna screw things up. You basically build a patch. What it does is this is gonna give me an error here. Files in my overwrite mod, of course. Yeah. See how it says Z-edit backups, but there's nothing in it. It's empty. Um, but it would populate all of those built patch into my overwrite. I would create a new mod, so I would have uh, one plugin instead of 15 or 16 or more. It works better with like patches too. If you have like a a bunch of patches, like the legacy patches. I don't know how many come with it, but you can merge all those together and place it at the bottom. Obviously, you have to really understand load order placement, but it's doable. You have a 255 active ESP. See how my ESPs are at 25, but it says 34 right there. But if I highlight over this, it says 25. So 255 is the max amount. People think PC has an unlimited amount. Technically, that's not true, but that's a way around it. It's just so much easier to do it on PC. If it's flagged as an ESL, it doesn't count. It's a Elder Scrolls Lite plugin. ESP is Elder Scrolls plugin. ESM is Elder Scrolls Master. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Yeah. Or that's how they're categorized. That's why when people say, yeah, try to flag it as an ESL, it's so it doesn't take up a spot. If you look on my right pane here, Undiscovered Skyrim is an ESL. It's in italics, and it's let's see here, the mod index FE001. So this is the one. This is Sky UI. I'm gonna have to actually change with this setup. I'm gonna have to change these back to ESPs, normal ones. I think for the patcher to work. But that's how you do it. Yep. Whoa, hold on. All right, so Mel's leaving. I'm just catching this now. Oh, damn. That sucks, Mel. Give her a good knock upside the head. That usually works. Or wave the gun around. I find that also to be pretty efficient. Probably not. Damn. I hope you're alright. That sucks. Who's putting what in storage? Like you're only visiting. Like you said, you're over your mom's visiting, right? So some lady's trying to say she's gonna put your stuff in storage. Everything you own. Oh, from is this out in is this out in LA? She's calling you from out there, where you guys are staying out there. Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay. Yeah, I can't slap her upside the head when you're across the country. Sona, you're out there. Go slap her upside the head. I I uh I DM Stitch. He lives in LA. Tell him to do it. It's not her fault. All right, take care of your business, hon. We're here. You could rewatch the video if you need to. Not a big deal. What am I doing? Mage. Let me look at my list again. Oh, yeah. Soul Karen. Soul Karen and Sovngarde. I'd just stick with the 2K stuff. I don't really get as fancy with these. This is the update. And Sovngarde 2K. Bam. Okay. What I need is a way for my headset, once I put it on and turn it on, for it to stay on. Even though I'm talking, it doesn't like to stay on. It's a pain in the ass. We're going to merge these two. That's the update file for Soul Karen, and then Sovngarde. Also looks good. Bring these up. These are our main textures. Detailing the Eldritch, yes. Armor texture overhaul. I think I used this one. Yes, I did. Detailing the Eldritch for some of the Reekling stuff. Download. This is quite good. We're going to stick with the 2K. Last update added Fulmer Totem. Yep. And we're going to use the red cloth version. Looks like this. I think it looks pretty cool. Just a little bit different. What you would normally see would be this. So, red cloth is 2K. Also, it's right here. Just overwrite the main file. That's all it says. So detailing. You can see how the data directory on some of them is buried in. Just make sure you find the right one. That's all it is. Just, it's a little more time consuming. That's all. Some of them are right up in your business right there. And then with these, like I said, merge them. You'll see the version change. And bring them up. And bickety bam. What else was I running? Ooh, Underground. I think that was it, right? Hold on, let's check it out. Dawnguard. Detailing Underground. Yeah. Let me just check here. Statues in stone before the lot. Alright, so these are my main meshes and textures. Everything here from the particle patch straight down. Noble's my base. Well, static mesh. ETD static mesh, runes clutter. Noble's right here. You can see what overwrites it, what it overwrites. Blended roads, obviously. Then the now non-existent Dawnguard and Soulstem landscape overhauls, because I like these better than Forgotten Vale Ice, which overrides the Dawnguard landscape. Could probably move this up and then keep Soulstem there. These are both Dawnguard mods anyway. And this one's got its own. It's not being touched by anything else. Soul Care in HD. This is overwriting static mesh. Sovngarde is its own. Okay, so secondary is like the caves, ruins, caves, mines, things like that. For me, anyway. At least this is how I started off with T4Gs. Yeah, Mel, no drama on the holidays. That's what you tell her. Tell her to be kind. It's a holiday. That's what you say. They never listen, of course, but you know, it's worth a shot.